A YouTuber went partying for 6 days while leaving her 20-month-old daughter at home alone. Little Asaya Kuti was left to starve all by herself. As part of her 18th birthday celebrations, Verfi Kuti traveled to London and Coventry partying and acting like a carefree teenager. She left with her boyfriend on December 5, 2019, and didn't return home until December 11. CCTV covering Kuti's home showed she had left Asaya alone in the flat for 5 days, 21 hours and 58 minutes. Footage was uncovered of her dancing at a concert December 8 as the DJ announced her birthday.
I got one message for you right now.
When she returned home, Kuti spent 3 hours in the flat before calling for emergency services and said her baby wasn't waking up. Sadly, nothing could be done to save Asaya. The autopsy concluded the cause of death was starvation and influenza, with reported signs of dehydration and severe nappy rash. Kuti first claimed she had been with her child at the flat all the time except for one visit she made with her to London. She later admitted to the manslaughter of her daughter, 20-month-old Asaya Kuti. CCTV at the sheltered accommodation where she had been living in the months before showed 6 other significant occasions when Kuti had left her baby alone for hours at a time. In August 2021, she was sentenced to 9 years in prison.
His Discord friends tracked him down after he murdered his entire family. On July 2019, 24-year-old Menhaz Zaman murdered his entire family before they could find out that he dropped out of school. His family believed that he was studying engineering at York University in Toronto, but little did they know that he had been lying for 3 years. On this day, Menhaz sent a message to a group of friends on Discord saying that he was gonna murder his entire family. One by one, Menhaz shared photos of his family, first his mother, then his grandmother, then his sister, then his father, and they were all deceased. He then played video games and took a nap while his friends online were figuring out whether this was real or fake. But after his online friends shared these gruesome photos with other people, they realized that he actually did murder his entire family. After some digging, his online friends found his IP address and realized he was from Toronto. They then contacted Toronto police and they quickly found Menhaz's address and went to his house. When police arrived to the home, Menhaz sent his last message to the group chat and he said, "Police are here, goodbye." The bodies of his entire family were lying around the house and he confessed that he did this because his graduation was approaching and he didn't want his family to feel ashamed that he didn't finish school. The autopsies revealed that Menhaz struck each one of his family members with a crowbar and then cut their throats. Menhaz was sentenced to life in prison and is eligible for parole in 40 years.
This is a case of 4 University of Idaho students and how they were murdered in the middle of the night. 5 students lived in this house on King Road in Moscow, Idaho. On the first floor, we have roommate BF. On the second floor, we have roommate DM and 20-year-old Xana Kernodle. Lastly, on the third floor, we have 21-year-olds Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonsalves. On the night of Saturday, November 12, 2022, Maddie and Kaylee arrived to a bar called the Corner Club at around 10 p.m. They were there for a couple of hours, and then at around 1:40 in the morning, the two girls headed over to a local food truck to get some food. After this, they made their way back home and arrived at around 1:56 in the morning. Later that night, Kaylee posted this photo on Instagram with the roommates plus Xana's boyfriend Ethan Chapin, and she captioned it, "One lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day." Now, as for Ethan and Xana's routine that night, they had gone to a house party nearby and had gotten back to the house at around 1:46 in the morning. Now, even though Ethan didn't live at the house, he decided to spend the night there with his girlfriend. So by 2 o'clock in the morning, all of the roommates plus Ethan were already at the house, either asleep or getting ready for bed. However, we do know that Xana remained awake for some time because at around 4 o'clock in the morning, she ordered a DoorDash order to be delivered to the house. Around that same time, roommate DM was woken up by the sound of what she thought was Kaylee playing with her dog Murphy up on the 3rd floor. A short time later, she heard who she thought was Kaylee say something to the effect of, "There's someone here." However, this also could have been Xana because her phone records show that she was on TikTok at around 4:12 in the morning. So after hearing someone say, "There's someone here," roommate DM looked outside her bedroom door, but she didn't see anything. Then, DM opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Xana's bedroom. She also heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Finally, DM opened her door a third time when she heard crying, and this time she saw something. She saw someone dressed in all black wearing a mask that covered their nose and their mouth walking towards her. He was a male, 5'10" or taller, not really muscular but athletically built, and had bushy eyebrows. This man just walked past DM as she stood frozen in place and headed over towards the back sliding glass door. After seeing this male, she quickly locked herself back inside her room. Later that morning at around 11:58 in the morning, either roommate BF or roommate DM called 911 and requested help for an unconscious person. And when police arrived to the scene, they found the deceased bodies of Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonsalves. All four of them had been stabbed, and police believe that the murders happened somewhere between 4 o'clock in the morning and 4:25 in the morning. During the
You did nothing wrong! Look at me! You did nothing wrong! Nothing wrong! Nothing wrong! Nothing wrong!
Fred Harris wrote to the Michigan Parole Board in August 2005, stating, "Gregory and I were friends before his mishap, and he was incarcerated. He was a member of our church. I feel he has paid for his unfortunate lack of self-control and the damage he has caused as much as possible, and is sorry." Harris wrote once again a year later, "If he was to be released, he would be welcomed as a part of our church community, and whatever we could do to help him adjust, we would." Green married the pastor's daughter, Faith Harris, after his 2008 release. The couple had two daughters, Coy, age 5, and Kaylee, age 4. Gregory tied his wife up in the basement of their house in Dearborn Heights, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. Their face had been sliced with a box cutter, and that her foot had been shot. She was surrounded by her two teenage children who had been shot to death. They were killed right in front of her. Her two young daughters she shared with Gregory were found dead upstairs in their bedroom. They were dead from carbon monoxide poisoning. Gregory had killed all 4 children. Green's, whose release her father fought for more than 10 years ago, had taken away what she loved the most. Green dialed 911 and waited for the cops to arrive, just as he did when he murdered his first wife. He told them that he had just shot his family and they were in the home. When police arrived at Green's home in Dearborn Heights, he was standing in the driveway with his hands up. A horrifying scene was discovered by officers. They discovered Green's wife, Faith, in the basement bound to a chair. Green had shot her in the foot and slashed her face with a box cutter. Laying next to her was her 2 children from her first marriage, 19-year-old Chadney Allen Jr. and 17-year-old Kara Allen. They both had been bound and shot to death. Police discovered the 2 younger children, Coy age 5 and Callie age 4, upstairs in their beds. They appeared to be sleeping, but they were both dead from carbon monoxide poisoning. They had no obvious wounds. Green was arrested.
Breaking news, an unspeakable tragedy unfolding tonight in Dearborn Heights.
Radio, there's one that's shot, there's 2 that are breathing, one appears to be alive.
4 children hold the prime suspect, a man they knew very well. Good to have you with us tonight for Local 4 News at 5. We've got several new developments to report at this hour in this horrible crime in Dearborn Heights.
Oh, it really is. Let's get you caught up with what we know right now. 4 children, ages 4, 5, 17, and 19, all found murdered inside a home on Hip Street overnight. Police believe the killer was father to 2, stepfather to the others. When they arrived on the scene, he was sitting on the porch, ready to turn himself in.
Now, we are not naming him just yet. He has not been charged in the crime. That's the mother of those children. She was wounded in the attack. She is said to be right now in fair condition. Our Jason Colthorpe has been talking with the friends of those young victims. We'll get to Jason in just a minute.
Let's get things started with our Rod Maloney. Rod, you're at the scene of this horrible crime where a makeshift memorial is slowly growing.
That is, it's going up behind me, Carmen, and I must say that over the past couple of years there have been notable and terrible murders in Metro Detroit, but few compare to the cold-blooded nature of this one. 4 children murdered in cold blood inside their home. You take a look over in the gazebo there, you can see some sheets hanging and some lettering. That says happy birthday because there was a party here just a couple of days ago for one of the children. As soon as school let out, the neighborhood children started showing up with teddy bears, creating a front step memorial. The reason? This family is no more. Faith Green, on the left here, had 4 children. 2 4-year-old Kaylee and 5-year-old Coy with her current husband. They died inside this car pulled into the driveway, rigged up with a hose for exhaust fumes to feed inside. We're told by police after the children died, their bodies returned to their beds, allegedly by their father. The other 2 children, 17-year-old Kara and 19-year-old Chadney Ellen, were Faith's children with another man. Police found their bodies bound in pools of blood, shot execution style. The family lived together in this Hip Street home for the past 9 months. But neighbors say divorce papers arrived yesterday, Faith having filed them a month ago. Michelle Carson lives across the street, and she is devastated.
He deserves to die. I'm sorry, but he does. Them babies, I used to see him every morning, you know, like, hi, Miss Michelle, you know, by the fence, and that's gone, you know. They were beautiful kids. They were a beautiful family. And he just took everything away.
The gruesome crime scene prompted Dearborn Heights Public Safety to have all the first responders involved visit with counselors. Mayor Dan Paletko struggled to grasp what happened in his small town.
It's just difficult to understand, and the motivation. I mean, I don't understand what happened in this household, but it's a super tragedy.
The Dearborn Heights Police Department spent much of the day, the overnight hours and early morning hours today, interviewing the father in this case. They then pulled together their case and shipped it off to Kim Worthy's office at the prosecutor's office. They have not made a decision on charging just yet. The possibility of an arraignment for tomorrow is there, but it may or it may not happen.
Justice. Your justice will come when you burn in hell for all eternity for murdering 4 innocent children, all because you're insecure as a man. Plus the other 2 lives you took. You are a con artist, you are a monster, you are a devil in disguise. You are now forever exposed. I've thought over and over again what I would say, even though it doesn't even matter. First of all, I am not and did not and will not suffer like you intended for me to do. What you tried to do didn't work. I am and was a damn great mother to all of my children. I was their mother and father. I'm the one who took out the time with each and every one of them. I taught them how to do things as well as people in my family and friends. I taught Chadney how to treat a woman with respect, how to fill out a job application, mock interviews, how to pay bills, encouraging him to give his all in his schooling, producing movies and his drawings. He was a great artist. He graduated from Specs Howard for digital media arts. He wanted to be a producer to make movies. I taught Kara to stay focused, aim high. I showed her how to drive, how a young lady is to carry herself in an orderly manner. Be all that you can be. Try out for everything that you're interested in doing. Pursuing higher education. We were filling out college applications. She wanted to be an OBGYN doctor. She was going to graduate this year from high school. I taught Coy to be open to new things like learning a new language, be confident in doing her schoolwork and in herself.
Of all the tragic cases this court has seen, the facts of this one are by far the worst. Fathers are supposed to protect their children.
Yes.
Husbands are supposed to protect their wives. I didn't know how I would sit here this morning and get through listening to Ms. Green testify about what happened in this case yet. I look at you and you appear utterly unmoved by everything that she said. Your actions are inconceivable and beyond understanding. I hope that the families affected by this tragedy can heal. As a practical matter, this court is confident that if I follow the sentence agreement in this case, you will never be released from prison. And rather than decide to, in the event I were to say, nope, this isn't enough, the family would be forced to take this to trial, and I don't want Ms. Green to ever have to endure what happened again. She already has to live with it every day. So for that reason, I'm going to follow the sentence agreement. I'm convinced that you will be incarcerated for the remainder of your life.
Thank you!